shit, what an absolute rocket ship. Now I know why Junior had this one squirreled away in the side of the showroom all summer long and didn't want me to sell it. He's like, Pops, I bought it. I was like, what'd you pay for it? And he wouldn't tell me. And eventually I found out that in fact, he didn't pay for it, that he bought it with company funds and wanted to buy it. And I told him, no, I really don't want him riding this on the street. At 22 years old, I think it's a little bit too much bike for a young guy if he gets pissed off or is having a bad day or has a couple beers. I don't think he drinks much. You drink it all? Doesn't drink at all. But I don't know. I just didn't think it was a good idea for a 22-year-old kid to have this bike. This is a world-class super bike right here. It's a fantastic machine. And it absolutely handles like a dream. If you're looking for one of these CB1000, a.k.a. the big one, look no further. This was owned by a meticulous owner who maintained it perfectly. And there's over $6,500 worth of receipts I have for high-performance upgrades and services that were done to this bike, starting with the carbon fiber countermeasure USA, Two Brothers, stainless steel and carbon fiber exhaust system, plus the Dyno Jet jetting kit to get it to run properly with that in the free breathing air filter. Take a close look at those shocks. That's a $1,200 set of White Power, White Brother, piggyback, remote reservoir shocks. The front suspension has a Race Tech Gold emulator kit, braided stainless brake lines. So the full suspension kit has been done on this bike, front and rear. It's fully documented, full provenance. I've got a stack of invoices here. I'm going to grab this and go over it quickly in case I forgot anything. Also, progressive springs in the front. The thing handles like an absolute dream with the Race Tech Gold valve emulators and the forks, the progressive springs, White Power rear suspension, stainless braided brake lines, stainless braided clutch lines, brand new tires. We just put those on there, top of the line tires. This thing is absolutely perfect. It's never been dropped. It's a monster street fighter and screams loud when called upon. The exhaust on it, it growls. It has like a nice raspy growl. It's quiet when you're at half throttle, but you open it up and this thing will bark. That's why they call it the big one. This comes with all the documentation. I'll go over that in a second. The bike has been maintained to the highest standard, never ridden in the rain. The previous owner stocked correct oil and filters and changed the oil every 1,500 miles, had all the specialty tools to maintain it, and only sold it because of a divorce. So just a pristine piece. I've got all the Dyno Jet stuff here. This bike is a bike you can take on long distance rides because it has a nice comfortable seating position. But look at it, man. It's a real head turner. The fire engine red and black. We didn't have to do much to it. We did 9 hours labor on it, including the full Monty detailing surface on it. It was given what we call a rotisserie decleaner. Rotisserie detailing. It was clean top to bottom, steam cleaned, hand washed, degreased, polished the exhaust, the wheels, the spokes, the bars, buffed and polished, the painted tins. Just a beautiful piece. The tires are brand new Metzler M-Spec 120/70 R18 and a 160/60 ZR rated rear tire. It's got ethanol-free fuel in it. It's got a new oil, new air filter. Carbs were cleaned, tuned, and synchronized. Has fresh ethanol-free fuel in it. It's been test-ridden by me repeatedly up and down the street here. This is a test ride I'd have been happy with not ending. I've got a bunch of receipts from the previous owner, including the Two Brothers racing exhaust, the Dunlop brake pads, the Honda turn signal modification, the White Brothers shocks, the Vance and Hines ignition advance component that it has on it. Just a beautiful piece. Just stacks of invoices here for oil changes, and the factory recommended service interval was done on it at the Honda dealer, and the guy who owned it maintained it meticulously on top of that, plus changed the oil more than necessary. So that's fully documented in this. You want to show them this, Junior? We got this stack of invoices here, along with notes from the original owner. Probably 20 invoices. I also have full provenance on the bike. I have the actual factory original brochure. I've got the title. I've got the Honda Riders Club manual. I've got the HRC signature accessories and clothing line. I've got the 95 CB1000 owner's manual, brand new condition. I've got the Honda Riders ride tips and practice guide. I've got the Honda brochure from the Honda Riders Club of America. And of course, it's all wrapped in the original factory brochure. So everything you would expect to get in a brand new bike is included. Junior, I explained briefly. I don't know if I documented clearly in my eye. I was a little confused because he bought this in the showroom earlier this summer, and before Jeff had cleaned the carbs and got it running perfectly again. What were your intentions? Were you going to ride this thing? Because I tried to talk you out of doing that, but
you know, I have a hunch that the 94, 95 CB1000s are going to be rapidly appreciating because, well, you go out and try and buy a bike like this today, you can't find them. They all have 30,000 plus miles. They've all been, you know, most of them have been down or resprayed. But this is really, in my eyes, the epitome of the Honda inline four carbureted sport bike. And just look at it. It's beautiful. It's a naked bike. You can see the frame exposed, the triangulation in the frame. It's a super rigid frame, huge aluminum swing arm, the lightweight mag wheels, and just the kick-ass suspension, fully adjustable in the rear, and you know, the upright riding position. It's got really everything that you would desire in a sport bike. The massive brakes. It's, you know, a breeze in the parking lot. Nice steep steering angle. It's not like some of the fully fared bikes with the, you know, not a lot of steering angle. It's something you could ride all day. The transmissions are superior to the ZRXs. At least,
no doubt about it.
I like to think that after riding them back to back, Senior seems to think it's a fact. But and then, you know, there's no fuel injected electronics or computers on this bike. It's old school carbureted, but the peak of production for the inline Honda 4.
It's got the Manic Mechanic Super Tune on the carbs. He cleaned and jetted it perfectly with Dyno Jet kit. It absolutely, some of the things you touched upon, I want to reiterate. It is a joy to ride around town. You can turn around in a one-lane road on this. That you can't do that on one of the sport bikes because the steering stem, they only turn about half as far as this one does. This has a nice, almost full lock turn. You can turn it on a dime. It handles beautifully, and it's just a joy to ride. The motor's absolutely fantastic, and I would love to keep it, but I honestly, at 22 years old, I think it's I'd hate to see you get hurt on it, but this thing will do 140 miles an hour, you know. So I'd rather see you on a dirt bike, but
you know, all this is going to do is mark the hunt of another one. We're going to be constantly seeking out these models. This bike with 6,600 miles on it, it would be extremely difficult to replace.
There's a note from the previous owner in there that he had typed up saying that he had never sat in the rain, that he kept the air filters, no air filters in stock, changed them regularly, more often than the recommended intervals, and maintained it impeccably.
You know, we never mentioned it, but this was in the museum for 3 years, owned by a friend of ours, Gerard, who still owns several bikes in the museum. So the bike was here for years, but I was drooling over it. Got to be one of the best street bikes I've ridden this year as far as the comfort and speed and performance and handling and style and the color. It's a classic, just like the Eddie Lawson replicas are going up through the roof. Right. The big ones. These are gonna be. It's a cult classic for sure. And this one's pristine. Pretty much everything that he owns that's been in the museum has been either brand new or like new. Gerard has
doesn't have any junk. It's all mint stuff.
He has a ridiculous collection. So.
I'm not sure. I'm surprised he let you have it. Did he let you have it because he thought you were going to use it, or what? You were going to buy it?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Hey, Gerard, you got no one but to blame but yourself for doing that, because you should have called me. I would have said, hell no, Junior's not getting this thing. Have you seen the way he rides? Closing, I just wanted to add, this thing handles light years better than it did stock with the Race Tech gold emulators in the forks with the heavy-duty progressive springs. It's a lot firmer in the front and more progressive. The shocks are light years better than the stock Honda stuff, which is good, but this is much better. And these are improved tires over the original tires too. So it's just, and with the way it's jetted, with the exhaust open up, it's a lot more fun to ride than it was stock. And I've ridden some nice stock ones, but Gerard, this one was a very good pick. I'm not sure what your reasoning for letting it go was. I know what our reasoning is, but
hounded him for years.
You hounded him for years. Maybe you should sell it back to him. Holy moly, this thing's beautiful. Well, it may not even go on the market. I don't know. Maybe Gerard will get it, but this is a kick-ass piece. So thanks for watching, everybody. God bless Japan and Honda for making such world-class machines like this. Look at the fit and finish and all the switches. Everything's just freaking perfection. And the style, well, it's a classic, timeless style. It's a world-class piece, man. Enough said.